2018 Ford Transit. This is a 350 with the EcoBoost engine. It's the high roof and the extended length, single rear wheel. And what we're going to do today is I'm just going to go around and I'm going to start putting deadening sounds in, or deadening strips in here to take some of this tinniness out. And begin to just get to know the inside where there's bolt holes here. They've really done a nice job putting some threaded bolt holes down both sides of this, up here and down here. So we're going to start planning out the build, and we're going to convert this into a weekender camper van. So hopefully we get to journal the whole thing. I've watched a ton of videos on this, but and just such a wealth of information. There's some videos that, you know, we got a little bit here, watch a Sprinter van video over here, got a little bit of information there, but there's certain things that I just wish, you know, that, you know, you're constantly asking the question of some particular item. So I'm going to try to cover all those as we go through. Hopefully put a lot of it on video, but we're also going to do a website and journal the build as well. So let's get started. Make sure my knife is closed here. So we have a sound deadening strip that I've just cut. And let's take a look at what the difference in the sound is with it and without it. And we'll see just kind of how much of this we'll use. Up here. So let's take a look here real quick. So let's do a quick check on let's do this one here. So I've measured these. I'm just going to put 5 by 8 strips down here, and we'll see how that goes. So let's take a look at that. So once again, okay, so we checked it, and let's put a strip up here and see what the difference is. So let's check the difference now. So this, now let's come over to the other side of the same panel. So you hear that. This one again. So there's definitely a difference there. So what we're going to do is finish out these top guys, and we'll go from there. Let me show you what I'm doing here and how I'm measuring and cutting this. So basically, I needed some 5 by 8 pieces, and all I'm doing is I'm taking my tape measure, I'm putting it at 5 inches, and I'm just putting marks down there. You know, it's kind of like a lead, so it's very easy to give me 5 by 8. I come down here 8 inches. Put a mark there, and it cuts really easily with the razor knife. Although, safety first, be careful with the knives. I have a pretty bad history when it comes to cutting myself with knives, so let me put this camera down, or this could end badly. Okay, so here's a tip when doing this stuff. Check the mail for all the parts. So I got my sound deadening things, and I'm in here trying to put these up with my hand. And I knew I had ordered a roller, thinking it was coming in the boxes. And nope, they put it in the mailbox, so it's been sitting there. So now I have a roller for this, and I'm not 100% sure I needed it, but that brings an important point. Safety tip. When they press these out, these inside edges are really sharp. So day one of the build, and I've already injured myself. Anybody who knows me knows that probably won't be the last injury, but hopefully they won't be too serious and we can keep on going. So gloves are highly recommended when working in these pressed out steel parts, because the back edges of these, some of them are very smooth and some around the corner they're just almost razor sharp, so you want to be careful of that. So on we go. So here's a real good example of what I'm talking about with tinniness. So this is the slider, and above the slider door, sounds like a trash can up there. If I come over to this side, much lower in frequency, a very dead sound in that regard. So, and I'm not 100% sure, that's got a bit of a tinniness to it there. I'm not 100% sure that a lot of this tinniness isn't just because there's a slider door here and there's not, it's a different shape. So maybe it's creating a different frequency in the steel, which is totally possible. But I think I'm going to put a bigger piece up in there. That's a definite difference. So let's take a look at the difference now. I put a piece up there that's 20 inches by 7 inches and rolled it down nice. And let's see what the difference is now. So it really deadens it down. So I don't, you know, there's certainly not a need. I see on the pictures and the advertisements for this stuff where they coat the entire inside of a car with it. I just don't see the need for that. Plus we're going to have insulation and so forth on this as well. So I don't see the need to go to that length. That took care of everything I needed with that. I don't know as far as driving what difference it's going to make, but you know, there's definitely a sound difference there, so we'll see what difference it makes in the long run. Before I cover this, we looked at this one just a minute ago over top of the slider door and how the ring of this one, but this on the higher roof, this is that sloping piece that's up on the front of the van. So if you listen to it, forgive me for my camera work. Hopefully you can hear that ringing sound. So, you know, all this stuff is designed to do is that ringing is just a high frequency. The metal is vibrating like a cymbal. And all this is designed to do is to lower those vibrations and get rid of that ringing sound. So I'm going to cut a couple of strips that are like 20 by 7 and put them down these pieces here. Actually, I think what's happened is I've over-purchased. I bought 2 cases of this dampening material. You can see down there. I bought 2 cases of that off of Amazon, just from other videos I've watched, and I've seen some people talk about how many square feet they used, and they felt that they used too many. But it's one of those things where you go into a new project and you go, well, I want to make sure that I'm not caught short. So I bought 2 cases, but truthfully, I don't think I'm even going to touch into the second case. I'm not even sure I'm going to finish the first case, because as I'm going around just tapping the steel, I'm getting a lot of dampening as it is without having to. I mean, you can see what I'm putting in these. These are just little squares. I'm not coating this whole thing with it. And those are 26 pounds a piece, those boxes. So if you think about it, my goal here is to dampen the ringing, dampen that sound, get that tinniness out of it. But I don't necessarily want to overdo it, because 26 pounds, that's a few gallons extra of fresh water tank I could have. That's, that really plays a role when you're building these things out, and what the weight ratings and how much weight you're putting in these. And we'll get into that later, where I did take this to the scales and have it weighed, and got both the axle weights, the total weight, with a full tank of gas, myself sitting in it. So I know what it is as an empty weight, and we'll get into that and how that matters. But because this is a high top, I want to make sure too, I'm not overweighting the top of this, because I'm going to have a rack up there, I'm going to have solar panels up there. And if I get into high wind, the last thing I want is too much weight on the top of this. 26 pounds may not sound like a lot, and it probably isn't, and it probably will make no difference, but really at 70 miles an hour or 65 miles an hour on a highway, with myself and my wife in here, or my daughter driving or something, that if it means any kind of safety, that's really important to me. So, that's something to watch out for. So let's get this cut, and we'll get this up next. Okay, so I've added 4 strips up here just a second ago. You could hear how high pitched that is. So, and I didn't cover it all. I just, put some strips down those big flat areas. And now listen to the sound of it. You really took the ring out of it. I mean, there's still a noise, but that high-pitched ring vibration is out of it. So, I'm just going to keep tapping around here and figure out where else it needs it. But quite honestly, each one of these cases I bought was 35 square feet. And I thought, I bought enough that, I'm going to cover the entire inside of the van. It just doesn't need it. There's no reason to do that. And I'm going to save the weight for sure. So I way overbought this dampening material, but at the end of the day, I'd rather not put it on and use the weight somewhere else more constructively than just have 26 extra pounds of unnecessary weight in the van, because that's going to make a difference down the road in safety and so forth. So, okay, I'm going to tap around and bang around more on the van and finish this part out today, and we'll see you whatever step we do next.